Hey, this is Mark Washington from MTC Media. Look, this is the Paul George thing. As of this morning, it looks like Paul George to the Philadelphia 76ers are a done deal. And this just shows you how different the world is from Kevin Durant moving to the Thunder. First of all, let's just throw this out here. Don't forget, LeBron James going to the Miami Heat technically ends up being a sign and trade. It wasn't a free agent signing, which is why I am using the point of reference of Kevin Durant and not LeBron James. But remember when Kevin Durant won the lottery because the TV contract jumped in, the new media rights contract jumped in and pushed the salary cap up tremendously, and it was the catalyst. It wasn't 100% what needed to happen, but it was the catalyst for Durant to end up at Golden State, and the league immediately started changing rules. First of all, Oklahoma City got nothing. And then they started changing rules on the windows of when you can resign your own player, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest thing that they did do in this new media rights agreement, which takes place July 1st, which I do believe is today, is the fact that the cap raised from the new media deal will be smoothed and not this gigantic jump. So that was another remnant of the Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors thing, and as many rules that was put out there to prevent it ever from happening. But what I don't think the NBA governor saw was something that happened with Paul George, and the only person who has brought this up is Brian Windhorst, which is, did the Clippers really want to trade Paul George considering their roster? So the Clippers are heading to the second apron. Did it benefit them to trade with Golden State for a bucket of mediocre to slightly better than mediocre players, taking back salary in a sign and trade for Paul George if it gets them to the second apron and they don't have a roster that can compete the way you would want them to compete for a team that would be in the second apron, because the second apron is so punitive. So now it could be a situation like with the Clippers where it is better to lose, if you want to use the term superstar, but a very good player, and receive nothing in return. Something that no one foresaw coming, because this is a direct impact of the new CBA. In the past, there's no way the Clippers would have wanted to lose Paul George for nothing. But now, because of the second apron and the punitive nature of hard capping and taking away mid-level exemptions and all these things, now all of a sudden devaluing your talent or devaluing your talent on your roster might be more beneficial from a financial point of view than putting out the best product that you can put out. That's not what this new CBA was supposed to be promoting. And it's what I've always said with any of these CBAs, no matter the sport. There's a big difference between what the intent of the rule was and what it looked like on paper, and then how the rule is used. And I'll always go back to the NFL. The players did not think that the franchise tag was the bad thing when the franchise tag was first born. Then the way the owners use the franchise tag is what makes players now hate the franchise tag. And now this second apron, the ink isn't even dry on that new CBA taking effect. And now the second apron has changed how teams draft. The second apron now is changing how teams are signing free agents, in the sense of the Denver Nuggets were very clear that the way they were building their roster was based on a different CBA, and now with this new CBA, there are some questions, and you saw when they lost KCP to Orlando. But the idea that the Clippers did not make more of an effort to sign and trade Paul George, just tells me I agree with Windhorse on this. That second apron is the boogeyman. And you're not going to see teams making decisions based on what's best for the roster. You're going to see teams make decisions on what's best for the Bucks, what's best for the organization going forward, because you can't, you just cannot take on all the penalties that go with the second apron beyond the financial ramifications, just the limited movement and the limited nature to being able to fix the roster. The second apron is going to play out as something that's going to end up hurting the Governors more. It is going to be the hurting the players. It's Marcus Washington, MTC Media.